It's going to be a great game.
For the USA, lining up in the fullback position is Gabe Barley. On the wing is Berta Farima and Marthwain Johnson. In the centres, number 3, Junior Vaivai, along with Taylor Alley, number 4. In the 5/8, number 6 position is Pioa Vatavai. Number 7, Matt Walsh. And the front row is Josh Rice at number 8, Nick Newland with the number 10. In the hooker position, CJ Cordolano. In the second row, Joe Aikner, Hikomalu, Dave Olch is the lock. And on the bench, Andrew Neasley, Chris Fraser, Bart Longchamp, and Mike Elias.
And just there we've seen a kick go dead, so it's going to be a Canada penalty on halfway for the Canadian team. We've got at fullback Jared Curry, on the wings Danny Tupou and Jeff Lowe's, centres John Craig, Emil Morgan, in the halves at 6 Eddie Bilborough, number 7 Connor Hunter, props Rory McGough from the UK and Chuck Curran, Jack Cousins in at hooker, Quinn Nawadi from the Wolfpack, and at number 11 there, Christian Miller, 12, and Cam Grace on the back there at 13. On the bench we have Wes Black, Denny McCarthy, Skylar Dumas, and Jason Hickman.
And Canada in great position, 20 metres out from the try line, taking the ball. The kick went dead, so that they are now getting field position, the first tackle. The referee says too much holding down in the tackle, and Canada again will reset the tackle count, and again in great position to get the ball going.
Terrible start for the USA, wasn't it, with the kickoff going out on the full. I think they just wanted to give Jamie time to read the team out.
And so they're off and running 10 yards out. Second tackle.
Crashing it in there.
Canada passing the ball wide early. That's a big gap. Looks like he's going to go through. He gets the ball away and he's going to go score. And Canada are on the board early. I didn't see who scored. It looked like the fullback.
Yeah, the fullback there, Jared Curry. Nice offload. Christian Miller bursting through a big gap left from the USA defence. And Christian Miller getting a nice offload. Support player Jared Curry goes in. Beautiful set. Beautiful start to the game for the Canada Wolverines.
That was great work by Miller there.
It was a good one-handed pass from Miller, and the viewers can see at that end of the field there are still a lot of fans there. Jamie can tell us a little bit about the history of this venue for Canada, but long before the Toronto Wolfpack, when they were just a twinkling in the eye of Eric Perez. Eric was in charge of the Canada team, and this was pretty much the way things were, a real festival atmosphere at that end, Jamie.
Yeah, it's been the home ground since 2012 as Quinn Nawati lines up the kick here, and it's often been a strong crowd for the Canada Wolverines. As we wait for the kick,
it looks good.
Oh, it's through. Nice.
So the US about to kick the ball off again, and this really is a big game for both countries. USA won the 2016 Colonial Cup, defeating Canada in a 2-game series. And while they look to retain the cup, this game takes an even more significance with the Rugby League World Cup just around the corner.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. The next time we see the Hawks in action, it'll be in Townsville in the World Cup. And believe it or not, viewers, the conditions aren't that different than they will be in Townsville. Very warm here this afternoon.
That's Miller taking the ball. Jack Cousins there at dummy half. Referee calling time. Can't see what the issue is. Oh, he's referee saying that he wants to take his necklace off. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, that's Hikumalu, is it?
It's Hikumalu, plays for the Atlanta Rhinos, celebrating a USARL championship.
I've been watching rugby league since I was a little kid, for about 35 years now. I've never seen a player being told to take his necklace off in a game before.
This is, and the Olch with the charge down, and he's going to pick that ball up. He's jumped on that, and USA in great field position, 15 yards out. This is their first chance of attack. It's Pio Vadavayo passing on to Newland. Cordolano at dummy half, trying to get a quick play of the ball. It's not happening. That's Josh Rice. Referee saying that they're offside. Tables are turned now. It's USA's chance.
Two players with NRL experience, Beretta Farimo, as I mentioned earlier, and also Junior Vaivai on the left wing for the USA. So they kick to the right and expect them to really try to utilise those two great athletes.
That's Pio Vadavayo again. tackle by Christian Miller. USA right on the try line. As Hikumalu, not getting much further, push back. Colonial at dummy half again. Pass the ball out wide. Walsh, not a good pass. Vai managed to beat him around. He's beat one, he's beat two. He's got the ball up in the air, and that looks like it's Gabe Farley that's going to go score on the left-hand side. USA is on the board.
And what do we say there about Junior Vai? He's an absolute talent. I think he was a Holden Cup Player of the Year at one point. Certainly for his club, he was. He's now playing in the Illawarra competition. Pays his own way over here. Very excited about playing in the World Cup, and there was a bit of class there, Jamie, really, wasn't it? The way he sort of shrugged off a couple of tackles, got his hands free, great offload.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Stepped inside two players. Looked like he was going to go down to ground, and then got the offload away to the open winger. Beautiful try. Canada will be disappointed after a great start. Charged down there on the fifth tackle, and that's really what led to the USA try. Obviously deserved through Vai and to the winner there. Canada will be disappointed with that charge.
And so Canada face the USA, who are determined to be the winners of the 2017 America's Championship as well, after the Canada Wolverines suffered a shock loss in Jamaica in Game 2. The Hawks having solidly beaten Jamaica, Canada now needs to win by 50-plus points to stop their neighbours from retaining both the America's Championship trophy, and of course we're also playing for the Colonial Cup. For the USA, this match also acts as the last opportunity for domestic players in the USARL to claim a place in Brian McDermott's USA squad at the 2017 World Cup, with 10 clubs represented. Also Hull FC new recruit Beretta Farima is included, and so USA is looking for a strong team to win the cup back-to-back.
And that was Pio Vaduvai, I think, with the unsuccessful conversion there. Jamie, interesting. Last time the Wolverines kicked for touch, I saw their winger and centre chase the ball as if I've never seen a more determined chase of a line kick before.
And that's Dulaway Blacklock's as Martwain Johnson carrying the ball back. Gabe Farley going to dummy half. Had a terrific game against Jamaica back in July in Jacksonville. Second tackle. Cortolano to Rice. Again at dummy half. It's Olch. Plays for the Tampa Mayhem. Quick play the ball. That's Matt Walsh. Putting a little kick. Not deep enough. And that puts Canada in great field position. 25-yard line.
CJ Cortolano just back recently from a wrist injury. I believe a lot of people thought he maybe came back a week early, but looked very sharp in the warm-up.
It's Ali in the tackle. Walsh missed that play. Ali got him again the second time. It's Cousins at dummy half, and Canada gets the penalty. Looks like too much action in the play the ball. So they will kick for extra field position, reset the tackle count back to 0, and have 6 more plays with 50 metres to go, or probably even less, and an opportunity to put more points on the board.
Jamie, what's being said out there at this point in these games? Obviously, one of sport's great rivalries, United States and Canada. Is there a lot of chat?
Yeah, there's usually a fair amount of banter on the field there, which is to be expected between these two great countries. I think right now, obviously, there will be some nerves settling here, and we've had a pretty frantic start within 10 minutes, 2 scores. So USA are in a somewhat of a vulnerable position here. Canada will be looking to put some boards and hold that ascendancy.
That's the third tackle, Cousins. Gets it out to Hunter. It's a good tackle by Ali. Fourth play the ball. Christian Miller again. The beautiful pass up there that allowed Canada to get the first points. Plays the ball wide. Puts a little kick through. And Hikumalu picks up the ball very cleanly. 10 metres out, USA. Very lucky. The referee calls penalty, too much action in the play the ball, and it's the USA's turn now, kicking for that extra field position. It's not a terribly great kick. He's probably picked up about 10 yards there.
Both teams have been penalised early in the game there, Steve. They'll be wanting to get that out of the game early.
Yeah, you talk about nerves. I think maybe the referee is dealing with his own. He's sort of he's certainly making an early impression and asserting his authority, the referee.
That's Olch. And tackle by West Black. The referee says he's lost that ball.
Olch has had 2 quick play the balls there. That second time he's been called for a loss of the play the ball, but I noticed in his first hit up he really did get to his feet quickly and got a quick play the ball. He attempted to do the same thing the second time. It was probably one of those 50-50 calls which could have gone either way, and unfortunately for him it's gone in Canada's favour.
And so now Canada 40 metres out from their own try line. They'll have the advantage of feeding the ball. They'll have 6 plays. And again, in rugby league, you have 6 downs, 6 play the balls. Instead of getting 10 yards as in American football, you have the opportunity to get the length of the field, at which point you will kick for extra field position. That's Canada pushing out wide. That looks like a high tackle, but referee's letting it play on. Referee's very active with the whistle.
Got a penalty for a high shot there against young Jared Curry coming in at fullback. He's come all the way over from BC. First represented Canada when I think he was just 17 years of age. Very talented player. Hasn't played too much since debut, but he's an exciting player, and he avoided, or after, despite that head high tackle, kept him running and looked to create an opportunity.
And the advantage after foul play is a bit of a curiosity to officiating in this part of the world, that the referees will often let the play go on even after a high tackle.
Well, it looks like he's almost gotten over that line there. Referee says he's just short. Second tackle. He's going to push through. USA defense up to the task. USA still holding on. Canada pushing the ball out wide. Puts in a kick. It's Martwain Johnson back there. Takes the ball cleanly. And that's not the result Canada was looking for. USA gets the extra play advantage on the 20-metre line with the 7 tackle count.
I think a little bit of an inexperience there from Connor Hunter. He played his first international versus Fiji just a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And on an early tackle count, probably wasn't the right play there from the Canadian.
Josh Rice hitting the ball up. He's been very active early. Josh Rice, who plays for the New York Knights, it was in the USARL National Championship. Also had a season with the Ipswich Jets in the QRL. Short ball from Walsh. Badavai. Referee says that was played backwards. Taylor Alley still keeps that ball alive. And the referee is saying that that was a forward pass.
We were right in line with that. There was no way that was forward.
It looked all right to me.
Tyler Alley's had a tough week. I believe his roof blew off.
According to Taylor, they're having a great time at a pool party in the middle of the hurricane, so I don't think too much phases Taylor. But a lot of these boys that have travelled up from Florida have just been through a traumatic experience with Hurricane Irma.
Well, there was another traumatic experience for him, because that was a lovely offload, I thought. A really nice offload in the tackle, called up as forward. Well,
the result is in Canada's favour, and now 10 yards outside from their own half. They will get the ball back. 6 tackles. That's the first one. USA pushing them back. Vai in the tackle.
Jamie, how does this Canadian team play quickly? How would you sum up their match plan and attack?
That ball looked almost forward.
Well, I had the privilege of coaching Canada for a while there, and last year...
that's a big gap. He's gone straight through. That looks like Farima that was able to wrap him up. No, that's Gabe Farley in the tackle. Try-saving tackle. Canada on the attack. Ali gets the ball. It's Curry keeping it alive. Hunter. USA scrambling. Canada's got them on the back foot. Cousins out of dummy half. That's a little kick through. Not the result they were looking for. Farley takes the ball back.
It seems like if it's on, they'll offload. Is that fair estimation?
Yeah, that's one of the things we've looked at. We haven't been strong offloaders in the past, but it's something that we have looked at as something that we could improve on. And I think, as we've seen today, there's been many offloads, so there's obviously been some improvement there. The play's been quite open for early in the game. I'm a little bit surprised there hasn't been the arm wrestling. It's been a little bit stop-start with the referee. And we're watching USA coming out of their own half with swinging around there. Nice. Fifth tackle here for USA.
And that was a great run by Vai. Walsh there evading the tackle, gets a little chip away. Canada now in great field position. That's a solid tackle. Looks like it was Nick Newell that put that hit on. The USA captain. Again, strong defense. Tupou for Canada. Third play. Canada moving the ball quickly, and that's Miller. Loses that, knocks the ball on. But Canada is looking for a very quick game and moving that ball fast. They came to play.
Yeah, there would have been an outrage if that had been allowed to continue. It was clearly a knock on there, Steve. But, as someone who first became aware maybe, 5, 6, 7 years ago of the crowds that you were getting here at Lamport Stadium for these matches, I've got to say it's really a thrill to be here and see it in real life, and to see that party atmosphere down that end, and to see the sense of adventure from the Canadian team as well. It's actually, I think it's been quite an entertaining contest so far.
And that's Joe Eichner carrying the ball back. Joe Eichner, who signed with the Toronto Wolfpack, was in the Last Tackle reality TV show. I think episode 3 featured Joe Eichner. Played one season for the Jacksonville Axemen. And that's Farley there, able to beat him easily. No, that's Farima. That's a beautiful play there. Junior passing that ball. Berta Farima making it look so easy the way he was able to cut back in. USA right under the post there, pushing the score from up to Canada 6, USA 8.
Pretty interesting there, I thought, with Junior Vai, just a little change of pace, just a little bit of class. He pretty much went from 0 to 100 in a split second, and it completely bamboozled the defence there. Again, I guess sometimes when you're watching sports, you can you notice an athlete who's maybe a class above those around him, and so far we're seeing that from Junior Vai, former NRL player. And every time the ball gets to him with a bit of space, he can wave his magic wand and do something.
And so, Steve, while Junior gets ready to take this kick, let's talk about you real quick. That you're in North America currently on a book tour for your new book that you've written, Touchstones. It's been a global book tour that's getting tons of press and really some great publicity.
Yeah, the description I just did of Junior Vai does not apply to me. I guess with some of these book launches, I'm trying to be an athlete when it comes to drinking beer, but that's about it. But yeah, it's been a really good experience, and I want to thank the Wolfpack today for allowing me to sit outside their store and sign a few books, sell a few books, and they've been selling the book Touchstones in their store for a week now. And also I actually had the honour of sitting in the merch tent today and meeting a lot of interesting people, including the fella next to me who didn't remember the last time I met him, Jamie Lester, who brought rugby league to Canada. And I think the game owes him a debt of gratitude. But yeah, it's been great. It's been great. And we're about to restart with the USA in the ascendancy.
And that's Hunter kicking the ball off. Farley taking that, catching that cleanly. Josh Rice bringing that ball up. He's had a terrific season, Rice, for the New York Knights.
Steve, is there a player in the USA team called the Hawaiian Volcano? Is that
The Hawaiian Volcano. That's Pio Vatavo, who again he's quite the unit. He stands 188 centimetres, so that's what about 6'3"?
And that would be attached to his nickname, wouldn't it? Or his name is Vaduvai, and Manu Vaduvai is being called the Volcano at times. Is that would maybe where he is?
It's quite possible. Coming in at 112 kilos, that's quite a unit. Walsh putting that ball up high, puts the catch under pressure, and he let that ball go, and Taylor Alley takes that, but referee saying that it was touched, and it's a turnover. No scrum is going to pack down, and Canada will get that ball back. That could have been disaster for Canada had that ball bounced in USA's favour, but it worked in their direction, and so now it's Canada's turn, moving the ball up the field.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, I want to say that it wasn't a good decision, that it was a fumble by Canada, but I can't say for certain because it all happened so quickly, and I guess it underscores what a tough job refereeing is.
It's always the way, if you let the ball bounce, it becomes a 50-50 decision or 50-50 opportunity for either team. And again, that's what you want to try to eliminate. Canada on the third play with Miller breaking through one tackle. USA's defense swarming around. That's Hunter, puts a little kick in. Looks like it's out on the full, not the result that they were looking for. And so it will come back to where the kick was placed, and USA will get the feed advantage in the scrum and a fresh set of 6 tackles.
Yeah, again, I'm not so sure about that play there from young Connor. The Canadian team was actually in the attacking 50, and this is, I think, the third time, not just from Connor, but other Canadian attackers that have kicked early in the tackle count. I understand that when you're in your own 50, but not when you're in an attacking position. I'm not sure about that.
And it looks like the volcano there, moving the ball up. Joe Eichner also with a quick run. Colonial, they're doing a great job at dummy half. Newland onto Ulch. Ball spilled loose. The referee saying it was lost. Unlucky by the USA, but to Canada's advantage. And another mistake. Too many turnovers from both teams. Both coaches will be unhappy so far with the amount of turnovers. They'll be looking to complete a lot more sets.
Even though these teams, Steve, are, they play quite regularly, and a lot of these players have a number of caps, there isn't the same level of video analysis that the bigger countries have. So as a result, I think Jamie will back me up, maybe he won't, that the match plan is kept pretty simple, and they don't focus on individuals in the opposition as much as perhaps the bigger countries do.
That's John Craig there, who had that great run, number 3. Canada now moving their way up the field. Again, Hunter, he's been busy in the number 7 halfback position. That's Craig again. Cousins at dummy half. Newland in the tackle. Gets that ball, passes back on. It looks like referees saying it was touched by the USA. That looks like a tough call. I didn't see it that way, but Canada is going to get the feed. And they will be a reset of the tackle count, packing the scrum down with 30 yards out from their own try line.
Yeah, I think it was an inside ball there from Eddie Bilbrough, one of the Canadian halves, and I think it did come off a USA hand. It bobbed up in the opposite direction to which he passed. So I think that one was a fair call. And Canada are hot on the attack now, so hopefully they can hold this for a set. And what I'd like to see is them running the ball for the full set, maybe not considering the kick, as they may have lost the ball on the first tackle. It looks like they have.
That's not what you wanted them to do, is it?
It's pretty much the opposite of what I wanted to see.
The ball security is such a big part of this, and that's Vai getting a good offload. On the 50-yard line, second tackle. USA moving the ball quickly. USA 30 yards out. Fourth tackle. It's Rice. Short ball inside. Colonial there moving quickly. Last tackle. Eichner at dummy half. That's not what they wanted to happen. He's going to push the ball to the blind side. Vai managed to beat him on one. Farima's still got the ball alive, but referee saying it was lost. it was the turnover on the 10-yard line, and Canada will get the ball back.
Yeah, Steve, if you notice just from the opening 25 minutes of this game, the Americans are sort of hit-ups without support is part of their match plan. They're trying to build a platform with momentum. Canadian players are more taking the ball up with support, and they're trying to create opportunities, whenever they present themselves. So it's quite fascinating to sort of check out the two styles and to see which one is more successful.
And that was a great ball there, offloaded to Miller. And that's a crunching tackle by Hikumalu. Completely laid him up there. Beautiful hit. Canada looks like that they were actually going to put something on and push that ball out wide, but Hikumalu came up with an important hit. And ball now turned over, and again we have another scrum pack down. USA now the ones in field position, 40 yards out from the try line.
Really was a lovely tackle as Canada looked to open things up there through their number 4 Emil Borgen, another Toronto Wolfpack trialist through the last tackle. But the US defense just came in and had him under the ribcage, causing them to lose the ball there.
Eichner driven back. 3 players for Canada in the tackle. That's Farley breaking out from dummy half. That's a great run there. Puts USA in excellent field position. Second tackle, Cortolano at dummy half. Olch doesn't get too far. USA on the attack. Walsh goes back to the left, cuts to the right. And the referee is calling offside. What call is that?
It'll be very interesting, guys, to see how many of this US team actually play in the World Cup. Nick Newland, Matt Walsh among the players, Joe Eichner, who've been mentioned, along with players who are based in Europe and Australasia. But it's a really interesting assignment for the coach, Brian McDermott, to mould this team in a matter of days. Really, they're going to meet in Townsville for the first time. In any case, no penalty shot from in front for the Hawks. They're going to run the ball.
And that's Rice with a barnstorming run, only a few yards out from the try line. Hikumalu going over, and he's just short, it looks like. Referee saying that he lost it. That's unlucky for the US. They're in a great field position. And now that turnover, it's a lost opportunity, and Canada will get the ball back on their 10-yard line. They get a free get-out-of-jail card with that one.
Yeah, Canada will be very pleased with the defence. Last couple of times USA have come down here and shifted it to the left. We've seen Vai create a couple of opportunities. So it'll be pleasing that they've been able to withhold that offensive pressure.
Oh, he laid him. That was Farima with a great tackle. We'll be feeling that one tomorrow.
Yeah, Canada went to the right with only 2 players standing on the right of the field. So, he was on a hiding to nothing.
USA driving them back. The referee calling held.
Punishing defence from the Hawks.
That left side of USA is quite strong there, with both Vai and Farima on the left-hand side, making it very difficult.
They certainly appear to have a physical advantage, don't they, the USA team? Maybe it's the colours they're wearing. I don't know, but they look a little bigger.
And that's another poor kick from Canada, not what they were looking for. They needed to get that extra field position and dig their way out, and instead they put more pressure on themselves. Scrum will pack down 20 metres out from Canada's try line, and USA is back on the attack.
Yeah, so Canada have some inexperience in their halves here. Eddie Bilbrough, who's their captain and playing at number 6 tonight, is often a centre, usually an outside back, and Connor Hunter is, like I said before, just playing his second test match. So a couple of nervous mistakes there.
And that's Vai putting on a move. USA on the attack, 20 metres out. Bit of action in the play. The ball, it's going down the left-hand side. That was a great pass from Cortolano. Farima getting cleaned up in that tackle. Eichner, that looks like, picked him up. He almost drove him down in a spear tackle, pulled back last minute. USA wanted to get a quick play of the ball than that. It's pushed out to the right. Walsh. It's Taylor Alley. It looks like it's going to be try time for the USA. Martwain Johnson's down in the corner. He scores. The referee says, want to talk to the sideline, and he's going to say that it's a try to the USA. Martwain Johnson scoring for the USA Hawks, and he'll be happy with that. That was a great ball from Gabe Barley. He could have gone himself, but he decided to pass it out. And Martwain scoring his very first try for the USA.
The corner post is now out of play at all levels in rugby league. It was a rule that was introduced in the NRL, then spread to Super League, and it's given us some great tries for people who don't normally watch rugby league. What I mean by that is that if the player stays in bounds with his body, but the corner post is taken out, that used to be no try. The corner post was a borderline of the playing area. Now that is only the case with kicks. If the ball hits from a kick, then it's touch and goal, and it's a disadvantage to the attacking team. But if a player strikes the corner post, but remains in the field of play from the point of view of his contact with the surface, then it's play on, and that has led in our game to some spectacular tries from wingers. The referee then just wanted to check with his sideline official that he didn't put a foot out. Conversion is successful from the sideline.
It's a great kick by Junior Vaivai. And for those of you that don't know about the Colonial Cup, it's an international rugby league football challenge match played every year between the United States and the Canada Wolverines. The inaugural match was played in 2010 at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, and the USA won that game 22 points to 16. Since then, the USA has won the Cup 4 times, with Canada winning it twice, last back in 2015, and the USA winning the 2016 both games.
Jamie, what would the Canadian coaching staff, what sort of messages would they be sending out now?
I think it's really not to panic. Their kicking game has let them down, and poor mistake from the USA team there. The ball was going dead on the full, but they've caught it in touch, so it's a mistake from the USA team. So fortunately for Canada, which could have been another mistake from the boot there, they actually get a result with a goal line dropout from USA. So I think the main thing that the coaching staff will be looking for is really to be patient with the ball, to get to a good kick at the end of the set, and to apply some pressure on this US team, which hopefully they'll do now.
And you were talking about before, Jamie, with the inexperience on Canada's side, that was really just an inexperienced play, the way he jumped up and grabbed that instead of just letting it go, and that would have been disastrous for Canada. But now they are on the attack, and they're going to, with 7 minutes left, the score is 16 points to 6 in favour of the USA. This is a great opportunity. They'll want to go in with some more points on the board before half-time.
The thing you have to get used to watching rugby league in new areas where the sport is relatively new, is that players often just don't know the rules. And in that case, Martwain Johnson must have thought that, I don't know what he thought. He thought that if the ball went out, it would be some advantage to Canada. Not the case.
Great pass by Miller, but the hands just weren't there to catch it. And Taylor Alley jumps on that, picks it up, and lost opportunity. Again, it was a low percentage pass. Rice trying to break through that line. USA back on the attack. Unfortunate for Canada.
That was a golden opportunity gone, really, wasn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, that's right. Christian Miller, he had the left-hand offload that set up their first try, and he was looking for it again. It wasn't a terrible pass, just behind his man, and unfortunately for him, the US defense turned it into attack.
He's got an old football head on him, Christian, hasn't he, Miller? He's got some great hands and constantly working there. He's been one of Canada's best for many years.
Yeah, he's certainly experienced. That's where, if I was the Canadian coach currently, I would expect him to hold on to the ball, though. Like we said, they haven't had too much ball in the last 10 to 15 minutes. They haven't completed their sets. So right there, you'd think an experienced head would hold on to the ball rather than to force that offload. Fortunately for them, it hasn't turned to points for USA. USA have dropped the ball, so Canada get another opportunity with 5 minutes remaining before halftime.
USA leading 16 points to 6. Canada on the attack. 15 metres out from their own half. Cousins. Bogren also, he's dropped the ball a number of times. He'd be disappointed with himself. He hasn't had a good game so far.
You know, it's I'm perhaps making excuses for the players here, but it is very hot and sticky down there, and I guess perhaps getting the ball in traffic like that is not something they're used to in the domestic competition, with the defence sort of right up in their faces. So yeah, a bit of a problem there with the handling. Maybe a bit of fatigue at the back end of the half as well.
That's Vai. They're putting on the move, pushing one off, bumping in the tackle. He's so strong. He swats away one of the defenders. There was Gabe Farley also. Referee calling a penalty. Too much action to play the ball? No.
I think it's just to play the ball there, telling him to go back to the mark to play the ball.
10 yards out. Andrew Neasley's come on the field. Chonk plays for the Philadelphia Fight. Good pass out wide. Zally. Martwain Johnson trying to do the same thing as before, except this time he goes into touch. No points for the US. Canada does well to hold on.
Yes, good defense there from Canada. Jeff Lowe's taking the centre and then moving on to the winger once the ball was passed. So a little different to the previous try where Martwain Johnson scored in the corner, and this time Lowe's gets the better of him and tackles him just inches away from the flag.
In both cases there, attack and defence, it was quite a high standard. It was like the pros. Martwain Johnson backed himself. He's a big, strong thing. And equally, the cover defence was also a very high standard.
That's a beautiful step from the winger, Danny Tupou, bringing the ball back. Martwain Johnson looked like he was about 2 metres and too far in front when he caught that ball. He was moving from a stop-start position. If he was running, he would have been in a much better position to finish that. Referee saying that
I think we've got a penalty there for tackled off the ball after the pass was made. It was a late hit there from one of the US players. Not sure who it was, but Canada have an opportunity to attack again.
with 2.5 minutes left in the half, they push the ball down to 30-metre line. And this is their best opportunity. They'll want to score here. They'll be pleased if they're even going into the half time with creeping up on the USA scoreline.
Really enjoying this game so far, guys. Canada are obviously just trying to get back into it. I think they're being out-muscled at the moment. They've got 2 minutes to narrow the margin.
That was McGuff bringing that ball up. Ulch and Rice in the tackle. Again, Taylor Alley, Colonial. It's Cousins out wide. Fullback Curry losing the ball. And again, an opportunity lost for Canada. And this is just simple errors that's ultimately their own undoing here. USA back on the attack. And they'll look to run this set out and hopefully close out the half.
They're just cold fumbles, aren't they, guys? Just fumbles under pressure.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Steve, earlier when you said a little bit of pressure passing the ball at the line. The level of play is obviously a lot higher as we see a mistake there from USA. They've done that a number of times too in the play of the ball. I will say from experience that on the turf pitch, with a hot, humid night like it is, when the ball gets wet from sweat, it's like soap. There's no dirt, there's no sort of grass to absorb any of the wetness, the slipperiness from the ball, and it is very hard to keep hold of. So given there's a few inexperienced players playing on this turf pitch, that might be one of the reasons why we've seen a fair amount of drop ball there.
Miller running the ball up and 30 seconds left in the half. USA up 16 points to 6. And that's the unofficial time that we're calling here. The referee has the official time. And that kick just over the sideline. And Canada in a position to score shortly before the end of the first half, and they'll be delighted if they're able to pull this one off. All we need is a ball. And they're on the attack. Offload to Cousins. Good defense from the US. And the referee is calling halftime. And the USA leading 16 points to 6. Lamport Stadium in Toronto. This is the Colonial Cup Series between the USA and Canada.
USA mistakes. Both teams are making mistakes right now. So, yeah, Canada will be hopeful that they can prey on the US mistakes.
And so that's the kickoff with Canada. Josh Rice bringing the ball back.
And I wonder if our man found his necklace in the sheds at half time. He had to hand it to the trainer. I'm sure he was worried that it's in safekeeping. If you weren't watching in the first half, an unusual event was the second rower for the United States, Hiku Mali, being ordered by the referee to remove his necklace.
That's a great run from Colonial out from dummy half. Farley looking to get to play the ball. Rice on the attack. Easy yards up the middle. Fifth tackle. Good start from the USA. They'll simply just want to complete their sets. It's Junior putting in a little chip kick. He takes it cleanly. And looks like he's trying to get the ball away, but he's passed the ball forward. It was enterprising stuff from Junior Vaivai.
Jamie, when you've got a player like Junior Vaivai in your team, do you just let him do whatever he wants, or do you still try to get him? Do you coach him? Do you say keep a lid on it a little bit? What's your philosophy there?
Look, he's a special talent, especially at this level. So I think you allow him to play his own game. Obviously, he'll know of the US game plan and he'll adopt that style. But when he sees opportunities, you let him play to those opportunities, as we've seen him do. That one almost came off. Chip and chase, beautiful chip and chase. Regather, didn't quite get the offload to go to his player before being met by the fullback there. So look, he set up 2 tries. That one was close, could have gone either way. You let him play footy.
So Canada with the completing this set. Again, it's been a while since they completed a set of 6, but puts a kick up, high kick, but they didn't get much distance. The USA will be on the attack, only 5 yards out from their half. Farley in from dummy half there. Making easy meters. Second tackle. It's Olch. Christian Miller on the tackle for Canada.
USA they'll look for a really good sort of steady end to their set here.
That's Hikumalo. He's been one of the best today for the USA. 20 metres out. I'm swapping back from metric to imperial back and forth. But the 5th tackle for the US. Pushing the ball out to the left. Colonial normally doesn't kick. It's Fremo, keeps the ball in play. Junior with those quick hands. Puts in a little chip. Canada gathers the ball. And they are back on the attack. USA again putting pressure. Eichner and Olch in the tackle.
Yeah, not only quick with good skills, Junior Vaivai, but he's sort of got a low centre of gravity, hasn't he, too? So if you hit him, you won't necessarily stop him. I'm glad it's not me trying to stop him.
And that's Canada there with a quick break through. He's looking for a support player. He's not there.
Beautiful break by the captain there, Eddie Bilbrough. See if they can make something out of this. Fingertip control. Canada going wide. Miller. Inside ball there. And it looks like a fumble. USA have come up with it.
And that's Mark Twain Johnson looking to break free. Almost got through. It's a hard surface to have a player dive on you like that. It's Rice. Be looking to steady the ship straight up the middle.
They certainly like to chance their arm, don't they, the Canadian team? They've got some cunning players.
Yeah, it's always been one of our strengths is going out wide and trying to beat USA. They've always been pretty formidable up middle. And so one of our plans is to try and beat them on the outside. It was a brilliant right foot step there from Eddie Bilbrough, sliced through, lacked some support. Then he finally met up with someone on the outside. Unfortunately, there's a drop ball.
And that's Junior Vai there. You can see Farley signaling for him to go to the left side. Colonial, dummy half. Pushing the ball out to Walsh. Gets that ball up. Canada going to want to take this. And he drops it cleanly, and Rice is going to pick that up. 2 meters out. Canada under pressure. USA on the attack. They need to push the ball to the right. Now he knows all he needs to do is push it wide. And the referee calls that. And Taylor Alley scores for the USA team, taking them to 20 points to 6 with only 5 minutes gone in the second half.
At this level, I think it's pretty hard to scramble back and defend for a full set of 6 when, fullback fumbles in that situation. They did well, actually, not to concede a try immediately. Some good defence there from Canada, but that was just a straight-out error and a very costly one.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. There's been a few from Canada now. Not to be pessimistic towards them, but they do really need to catch the ball. And I think from that, obviously if they catch the ball there, that try doesn't occur. But you know what? Jared Curry is a strong player. He'll come back. He'll make up for that. And I'm sure he'll come and provide something for Canada in the remaining 35 minutes.
And so, Jamie, what can you tell us about Canada's preparation for this game? Because they've played a couple of internationals leading up to this one, and they just played the Fiji residents, and I would have thought that there'd be a bit more experience going into this game. There seems to be so many simple errors.
You know what? I'd say this is a bit of a transition year. In the past, we've had a pretty healthy spine for Canada. Prior to this year, we've probably had really 3 halves over the initial 6 years that have played predominantly for Canada. This year we've got 2 new halves. We've had more than that actually over the course of this season. So it is really a rebuilding phase, and we've got some young inexperienced players, and they'll get better for it. And this is great. They're playing USA, who are ranked 10th in the world, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. Who are about to go on to the World Cup. And we just don't play enough rugby league at this level to make massive gains each year. So these guys coming in will take some time, and I think really in 2 to 3 years we'll see a really, really strong Canadian team.
So the USA back on the attack. Number 14 for the USA. Andrew Neasley.
Yeah, and you can imagine, Steve, I was going to say that they'll really pepper the back 3 now for Canada, having, got pay dirt from that last error. But kicking very early in the tackle count, which is something we've seen both teams do here this evening.
You can definitely see that Canada is feeling that pressure, that high ball there. It was such a simple error before, and the USA knows to really push the boundaries with Canada now, and they'll be feeling that and expecting more of it to come. And so USA in great field position, 10 yards out. That's Eichner. The ball looked forward.
40-20, I think it was from Matt Walsh, wasn't it?
Eichner slow play the ball. Colonial out wide. Vai and Farima is trying to push it through, and he just bulldozes one of the players out the way, and that was a very easy try there for Beretta Farimo. Scoring for the USA again.
And again, the 40-20 in rugby league, if you can find touch from your own 40 in the opposition 20, you get the ball back. And that's what we saw there. Very quick thinking from Matt Walsh there. Spotted an opportunity on the left side, found touch, got the ball back, and then really clinical play from the United States. And they've pretty much got this game in the bag now.
And so with the score at 26 points to 6, only 8.5 minutes gone in the second half, the USA are definitely in a commanding position here to take the Colonial Cup, but also the Rugby League Americas Championship 2017. And of course that will see that in that contest that this will be the second year that they'll win that trophy since it began in 2016. And really, the USA has had the upper hand on both Jamaica and Canada, really in the past few years.
I think we can safely say that Canada aren't going to win by 50 anyway, Steve, regardless of what happens over the remaining, 31 minutes of this match. I guess as this kick is lined up.
And the kick is unsuccessful by Vai.
I guess some of the fans here might, they're still sort of living in the afterglow of a trophy being presented to their local club, and then they're seeing their national team, getting beaten quite savagely at the moment, by more than 20 points. So they're probably wondering, why is this the case when America doesn't have a professional team? And maybe some of the viewers are wondering that too. The simple answer to that is that a lot of the players involved in this game on both sides are amateurs. So this is the grassroots of rugby league in the two countries. The Toronto Wolfpack are a professional team, and they draw players from all over the world. So that's why maybe that's the best explanation I can make as to why things are the way they are.
And that's Chris Fraser, who's come onto the field for the USA. Chris Fraser in the number 15, plays for the Northern Virginia Eagles in the USARL competition. Had an outstanding game when he came off the bench for the USA against Jamaica in Jacksonville in July. Olch in the tackle.
USA coaches Sean Richardson and Brent Richardson, they'll want the Hawks to be clinical now. Just because they've got a comfortable lead, they won't want them throwing the ball from touchline to touchline and trying to be geniuses. They'll want them playing out their sets, finishing off with a good kick and getting their systems in place, because there's some big games coming up over the next couple of months.
And so before we talk about the US with the World Cup preparations and Canada taking that ball back, Jamie, can we just talk about Canada's preparations, because they'll want to learn from this, and as you said, this is a transitional period for Canada with rugby league, but in 2019, which feels far away, but I'm sure it'll come very quickly, the World Cup qualifiers will start all over again, and the expectation is that those games will be played in Canada this time around. So what do you think we can expect from the Canadian team 2 years from now with this transitional taking place?
Yeah, I think, like I said, in 2 years, they're building right now. Nice ball there from Christian Miller inside to Jared Curry. But they're building now for something, and that's the goal. 2019 is really the goal. So, look, obviously we don't want to lose test matches. We're out there to win.
That's a great ball there. Get it by almost taken into touch.
Tackle.
It really was.
Beautiful tackle by John Craig there. I actually thought he got on in motion as we see another offload.
And the USA are carving them up easily from that left-hand side. All smiles on the USA. They're enjoying their footy. Fourth tackle for the US. Farley at dummy half. He's had a great game as well. Neasley. Dumas on the tackle. Olch carrying that ball again. That tackle looked high. Fifth tackle. Walsh, cut out pass. Eichner. Oh, it's a flick over the back. What a beautiful piece of rugby league that was. The ball is still alive. Ugly kick. Martwain Johnson gets that. Chris Fraser keeping the ball alive. Doesn't know it's the fifth tackle, and that will be a turnover. Canada breathes a sigh of relief. USA mounting plenty of pressure.
Joe Eichner, that's one of the offloads of the year at any level of rugby league. I think tonight we've seen one of the hits of the year in the first half from the USA second rower Hiku Marley, and then we saw one of the great offloads there from Joe Eichner. He's got a likely name, Joe Eichner. Sounds like a pro sportsman of some sort, and that was something that you would see from a fellow who's been playing the game since he was 3. It was an incredible offload there from Joe Eichner.
It might have been something you'd see more likely from the Harlem Globetrotters there.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. Stuff. That was over the shoulder, over the right shoulder, as he was moving to the left, and it found the mark. They were unlucky not to score their US, but fortunately for Canada, they've come up with the ball. And we're just seeing a stoppage in play through injury. Cam Grace, it looks like, is coming from the field. As I was mentioning before, really in their transition years at the moment, Canada looking to build for that 2019. And I think that you'll see a very strong competitive team once we get to 2019 qualifiers.
What's the Canadian team's attitude to foreign base players? I mean, you could go back to grandparents and do all that sort of stuff. Is there a philosophy there, or is it just a case-by-case thing, Jamie?
Yeah, it's case by case. Obviously, you've got to prove that you're stronger than the players that are playing in Canada. We've got the likes of Reece Jacks and Tom Dempsey, both Canadian heritage players that qualified, but they were playing for the Wolfpack tonight.
From Melbourne Storm as well.
Of course, Riley, Riley obviously not available because he's in the Melbourne Storm setup. But yeah, there are players that are available, but most of their games are played in the Super League, English, Championship seasons, NRL seasons, so it's hard to get those players to play for Canada. Next year, I believe the Emerging Nations World Cup in Australia played in October, so hopefully we'll see some of those players feature in that tournament.
And so Canada goes getting the ball back on the 50-yard line, and that's a great run from
Denny McCarthy there, just come onto the field.
McCarthy, just come onto the field, that's right.
Wes Black now hitting it up. I believe Wes played his first international against Fiji, playing his second tonight.
And there goes Canada looking to push that ball wide again. That pass out to nobody. Bit of friendly fire in that tackle. And he's taken into touch, and Canada really looks at 6s and 7s as they're trying to move forward, push the ball out wide, not having much luck.
Perhaps an attempt to emulate Joe Whitener there, but not in such a good position with that little flick pass back to nobody. Again, I guess that's the strength of this Canadian team, is that they, regardless of whether they're, what part of the field they're in, they do like to offload, and they do have some guys who've got some skill, and they can kind of, in doing that, they can kind of work around guys who are bigger and maybe even more experienced in rugby league, because they've got that sense of daring. They are willing to use the ball, but as fatigue starts to kick in, the effectiveness of that approach starts to suffer a little bit, and that's something that the Canadians have to guard against over the next 20 minutes.
It's Mike Elias who's come onto the field for the USA. 16 minutes gone in the second half. The USA is leading 24 points to 6. I said 26 points to 6 before. Correction, it's 24 points to 6.
And gratuitous plug, Mike Elias, I met him on Tuesday night, or early this week at my book launch in Boston. There you go. Touchstones. You can buy it at all good bookstores and some bad ones.
Yes, so Steve, so you're on your Touchstones tour right now, and that continues, and where do you go from here?
I'm off to Los Angeles, and I'm going. I mean, if I was in Los Angeles, I'd meet some friends for a drink. So I'm turning that into a launch. Not expecting a huge crowd or huge sales, but and then I'm going to Adelaide. I've got a 50th next weekend, and I'm doing another launch there. And and I'm during the World Cup. I hope I see you in Townsville, and we'll have a little Townsville launch. I can't see any reason not to do this stuff. I've never had a book out before, and it's an excuse to meet people and have a few beers and see a few different parts of the world, although I'd probably be there anyway, especially with the World Cup. It's been a fantastic experience so far, and looking forward to seeing everyone connected with the USA's team in North Queensland around a month from now.
And so what's been the biggest surprise for you that's come out of this that you didn't expect? I mean, it's been a whirlwind tour. You've been constantly in the media, doing radio, doing TV, but from the book itself, what's the thing that shocked you the most about this?
I guess what really surprised me is that there's kind of like a circuit. If you've got a book coming out where people will help you, they'll put you on their radio or their TV stations. You end up sitting. The biggest thing for me has been being on the other side of the fence, Steve. So I'm used to asking questions, and then to have people throwing questions at me. I did see the author Chuck Klosterman say you become a much more sympathetic interviewer when you've been an interviewee, and I can certainly see that. It's been an interesting experience to be on the other side of the microphone and the notepad and the dictaphone.
So let's get back to the game here with 5 yards from the half. Canada back on the attack. turnover from the US. And Canada really at this point just want to learn from this game and settle things down and maybe try to put some points on, play for pride at this point. There's still 20 minutes left, plenty of football. They've scored 3 tries very quickly in the 2015 qualifiers against Jamaica. Jamaica was leading 18-0 and Canada came back and scored those 3 tries.
I've got a question for Jamie, but I'll wait till this set is played out. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, look, I think at 24-6 down, 20 minutes to go. Canada, if they score here, they'll give themselves a real chance. They are a confidence team, and they are decent enough at scoring back-to-back tries. As we see John Craig powering his way through.
He almost did a shepherd play there, and the other player put his hand up, but they were able to keep playing on and did a great job. And that was a wayward pass. Taylor Alley, it looks like, who's diving onto that ball. And unlucky for Canada because that was a real opportunity for them. And there's Martwain Johnson. This is the first touch of the ball he's had, and this guy can move. He's put the move on, but he's lost that ball in the play, and this is real seesawing stuff back and forth from both teams.
Here's my question, Jamie. Do you think one of the sort of unheralded countries involved in the World Cup, like the United States, can put the cat amongst the pigeons by playing in a kind of, a flamboyant style, because our top professional competitions now, Super League and NRL, are so programmed and the players are so used to a certain style of football? We have seen in the past Wales lead Australia in a semi-final of the World Cup, etc. Do you think that there is an opportunity for one of these countries to completely shock one of the bigger nations by playing an unpredictable style of footy?
Yeah, look, USA really punched above their weights last time they were in the World Cup. They made the quarterfinals versus Australia. Nobody expected them to be there. They really played some fantastic footy. I expect them to be strong again this year. It'll be interesting to see who is selected for the team. If some of those stalwarts that have played in the past, like Joseph Polo from the Colonial Sharks, I believe he was the captain last time round, if he's there again. There's plenty of talent there for them to be a very competitive team. I'm really interested in seeing how Papua New Guinea do. Obviously, they've been playing rugby league for a long time, as we see John Craig bundled over the sideline there.
He's had a good game, hasn't he?
John Craig, very strong player. He's been there a while. He's one of the out-of-statesmen of this team, one of the most experienced players on this team, and big, strong, and fast player. Really like him. He was one of the first players on my team sheet when I was coaching the team, and we saw him doing a great try-saving tackle over very close to the sideline. I thought the US player actually put his foot on touch on the closest sideline to us. It didn't get called, but it was a great tackle nonetheless. But Papua New Guinea for me is whilst they're not new to the game, they've probably underperformed in the World Cups. Now that they've got the PNG Hunters playing in the Queensland Cup there, really interested to see how they go. I think they'll really step up this year and would like to see them performing well.
So the USA back on the attack. Taylor Alley doing that break out to the right, making good field position, wasn't able to get that ball off. Again, just content to move that ball up the middle, nothing too fancy. That was really the message from Brian McDermott very much earlier in the year, even with the USARL competition, that he handed down a set of guidelines to all teams to basically say, this is the type of football that I'd like you to play. This is really the style that I want you to follow. So at least there's some repetition going into the World Cup, and this is really where it's ultimately paying dividends for them, where they're playing that simple style, just moving the ball up, really completing their sets and making sure that they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, well, that's certainly been effective for them today, Steve, hasn't it? You know, they've played out their sets. They haven't done too many silly things. They haven't tried to be too fancy. They know they've got Beretta Fremo is actually probably, as an NRL player, been reasonably quiet. Junior Vaivai, they know they've got on that left. They've got a guy who's better than anyone else on the field, and they feed him plenty of the ball. They make sure he gets it in space. And then aside from that, they just play a percentage game, as you say, Steve, and it's worked for them.
Canada, they're moving that ball. The referee calls a penalty. You can't help but turn the attention to the beer garden on the left side where the Wolfpack are celebrating their promotion. And it looks like quite the party's going on down there. The DJ's keeping the music pumping, and there's a mixture of both a party and an international game of footy taking place.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear what Jamie thought when he first came here to play an international, and Eric Perez had organised this kind of party atmosphere. I imagine the first time you all saw it, it would have been quite a shock.
Yeah, that's right. Our first international was in Kingston, Ontario, which is a few hours away from Toronto. Back in 2010 versus USA, we narrowly went down 22-16. And then from there, I think it was 2012, that was our first international here at Lamport, and that's where things really picked up. We got a downtown stadium, or close to downtown, and we managed to get a good crowd in, and they kept on returning. So we probably averaged around 5,000 for those internationals that were played at Lamport. And yeah, it was just a brilliant atmosphere. We got to engage with the crowd after the game, and it was just fantastic for the players and everybody involved.
So with 15 minutes left in this game, the USA leading by a score of 24 points to 6. Canada on the attack. They're definitely going to want to score in this set of 6 if they're any chance of being in the contest for this game. Is that Miller?
It's Rory McGough there, just holding
Ryan
onto the
McGough.
ball. Looks promising from Canada.
Yeah, there's an opportunity. He's driving on the line. The USA up to the task of defense, pushing him back.
Young
The
Skylar
referee is
Dumas.
saying that it was had him up high.
Yeah, head high there, so penalty, recount for Canada. Like to just see more of that, just getting it to a player in motion, having a dig at the try line.
Canada will not want to do anything silly here. They just want to continue to move the ball up. Second tackle, USA defense up to the task, holding them out. Third play, it's a beautiful little dummy, and the referee says that he's knocked the ball forward. He looked like he fell short and he spilled it.
Yeah, that was a little hooker, Jack Cousins, and typical of his position, he was sneaky, threw a king-size dummy to the left, dived over a massive gap, but unfortunately, it would appear, and we don't have an angle to disprove the referee, that he just couldn't get the ball down cleanly, knocked on over the line.
That could have well changed the fortunes for Canada, still with plenty of time, but fortunately for them, they'll lose possession. The USA will get the ball back, feeding the scrum. That ball goes out for Freema, who's playing just outside the scrum half, and he's already broken through. He's got Matway Johnson is outside. Be looking to feed him that ball. He just didn't get it. He's still going. 2-3 defenders. That's a great run from Rima.
Big run from Burrito there.
USA in great field position. Canada is backpedaling. This is crunch time for Canada. They're going to have to hold on. USA scores this. It's going to be a very hard way for Canada to be able to come back. Cordelano at dummy half. That's Newland that ran that ball up. There's Walsh again. Cut out pass. Vai puts the first move on. Canada knocked that forward, and that's 6 more tackles for the USA. They want to push this ball to the right. Newland straightening things up. Sees the try line. 5 meters out. Bart Longchamp coming on. It's Walsh again out to the right. Puts that ball short for Fraser. Canada holding on for dear life. Good pass out. Walsh puts the ball back inside. Taylor Alley strolls across the try line, making it look easy. And that really is the nail on the coffin for Canada. The USA goes on to score again, taking this game to 28 points to 6, with only 12 minutes left in the game. And the USA really now cementing the Colonial Cup again for back-to-back years.
Really impressed with Matt Walsh tonight. I've actually met his partner, Becky. She's selling USA gear, and I was doing a book signing in the merch tent. and he seems a pretty cool customer, Matt Walsh, and just controls the game really well. I haven't seen him do anything, get flustered. I haven't seen him rush anything tonight. He's a sort of player who, won't be overawed against some of the bigger opposition, in Australia and PNG in the next month or so. I'm really looking forward to seeing him take on those other countries and test himself against the best. Great kicking game, and as we saw, a 40-20 earlier tonight really changed the course of this match.
He's got quite the career, Matt Walsh, and played a number of clubs around the world, positions everywhere from halfback, 5'8" hooker, but 31 years of age, currently plays for the White Plains Wombats, also played for the Connecticut Wildcats, but has a history with the South Sydney Rabbitohs and Coogee Wombats. Junior rep honours with the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the under-16s and 18s and under-20s.
That's something he's got in common with Junior Vaivai, of course, who's achieved quite a bit at South Sydney now. I guess from a Canadian point of view now, it's about sort of having pride in your performance. It's about not missing tackles. It's about completing sets, taking the right options, not letting fatigue get to you, and that'll be the things that are on the minds of the Wolverines now.
Michael Ice taking the ball cleanly.
Yeah, look, I would have liked to have seen the replay. There's a big gaping hole on the inside. Matt Walsh provided it for Taylor, who just went in untouched. Obviously, we don't have the replay here. It would have been nice to see. I think there was a Canadian player complaining that he was taken out, but who knows? The rest is history, and they've just got to play some good, strong footy. We've got a USA penalty here, so they're going to be on the attack again, and Canada really needs to show some solid defence here.
Just having a chat to Mike Elias during the week. He's a Boston 13s player, the only Boston 13s player in this squad, and he doesn't know anybody, but he'd been to Canada before, and he believed that he could certainly make a few friends with his local knowledge of some of the clubs and bars. So he was looking to impress his new teammates with his knowledge of the environs of Toronto.
And I'm sure that will be put to the test tonight after.
And you'll be there. You'll be there with him, won't you, Steve?
Be a lot of places. On the halfway line, Oakner overran that play, so he decided to just settle things down and take the tackle. 40 metres out, that's Chris Fraser. Been busy with the USA since he came onto the field. I've also been impressed with Colonial this game. He's had a solid game from dummy half. Longchamp gets that ball away. It's bouncing all over the place. The referee says it was knocked on by the US, and Canada will get the feed. Looking to hopefully just complete their set of 6 and move the ball up the field and not turn the ball over and limit the scoreline for the USA with 8 minutes left, and USA leading by a score of 30 points to 6.
And just a quick word, Steve, on the coaching staff for the victorious team. We know they're going to win now, but Sean Rutchison had a long career with a number of clubs in the NRL, and he now lives in the US for work, and he's grown his hair out. He's got like the Sideshow Bob kind of haircut now, which we never saw when he played. What's he doing in the US, Sean Rutchison?
So Sean is also the coach for the Jacksonville Axemen, and also was coach for the South team. Unfortunately, the North versus South game, that we were supposed to commentate, was cancelled because of Hurricane Irma.
Good excuse.
It's always a good excuse with a Category 5 coming in your direction. But Rucho also works at one of the local gym and fitness centres in Jacksonville, so plenty of opportunity for that club, and Jacksonville really looking to rebuild it as a club and come back next year. They'll be quite strong.
And his assistant is Brent Richardson's the son of the director of football at South Sydney, Shane Richardson, and Brent works for Google in Manhattan, so he's a real high achiever, and he's involved in the Brooklyn Kings.
And that's Vaivai there, make it look easy through that dummy, quick step, and he's off to the races, and he makes it look so effortless when he gets the ball. He's quite the talent, junior. And again, scoring for the USA, and put the nail in the coffin for Canada if he hadn't already done that. And the score will now move to 34 points to 6. and this is really the points are piling up against Canada.
So, Steve, what are the plans? Obviously, the World Cup is on everyone's mind, at the forefront of everyone's mind, but as far as North American competition next year, number of teams travelling, as Jamie said, to Southern Hemisphere for an Emerging Nations World Cup. What's happening next year between the United States, Canada and Jamaica?
Again, the plan is to continue as we've been doing with the Rugby League Americas Championship, but also that USA is looking to tour Jamaica, which will be the first time the USA team has actually gone in an international test level. And so that's going to be a big deal for the Jamaica.
Looking for a media manager, Steve?
You're welcome to sign up.
I hear the pay is awesome.
In North America, the pay is A grade.
What time of the year will that be as Junior Vai lines up this kick?
So the championship, again, this will be it's been such a disruptive year with the World Cup on both the domestic competition, and Junior successful with that kick, making the score to 32 points, 36 points to 6. We have a new scoreboard operator here.
He's got a nice, he's a lovely kicker of the ball too, isn't he, Junior Vai? The way he just dabbed that over the, I know it wasn't straight over the black dot, but his action was like poetry. So will that be an end of season tour, Steve, the United States going to Jamaica?
That's what we're still sorting out. We're expecting USA to tour Jamaica. Jamaica will come up to Canada, and we might get in 2 games with USA versus Canada, one for the Colonial Cup and one for the Americas Championship. So that's yet to be determined for next year. And there's also early stage discussions, quite possibly, of the USA playing Lebanon next year in the USA. So those conversations have started. That would be Lebanon's domestic team. And again, talking to Rahman Safi, that's early stage, but that would be great if we were able to see a team like Lebanon come out and play. And again, that just shows with International Rugby League moving forward.
That was like Joe Theismann, that one, not Joe Eichmann. That was very, very forward. Yeah, it is exciting, isn't it? And you know, I guess that it's hard to do, but there is a large-ish Lebanese community in the United States. Not as big proportionally as there is in Australia, but I guess if you and they could, and the Cedars could tap into that, it could be quite beneficial for the game.
Yeah, and again, it's also the standard competition. The USA, Canada, and Jamaica. It's great that we're playing this tri-series every year, but we also want to expose other countries and really improve the level of competition. And Lebanon will be quite strong when they come out. It's not confirmed. These are early stage discussions, but they're on the board. 3 minutes left in this half. Oh, Canada goes straight through a yawning gap. Number 9, Jack Cousins there scoring, and they'll be happy to get points on the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. There was a big gaping hole in the US defensive line. Jack Cousins just walks on through and scores under the post.
Jack Cousins deserves that try because he really should have scored about 10 minutes ago. He did all the hard stuff, convinced the defence to go the wrong way and then lost the ball over the line. So on that occasion too, a good individual try from Cousins, and there have been some very strong individual performers in the Wolverines side today. I think Craig in the centres has been very good. Also Cousins, the ability to beat a man and some punishing defence. I think the Canada can certainly, to coin a cliche, hold their head high at full time tonight.
So the score 36 points to 10 now. 2 minutes left in this game. USA will wrap this up, and they're only playing one Colonial Cup game this year. Conversion successful, 36 points to 13 to 12. Again, working with a new scoreboard operator.
I'm not sure Phil Gould or Greg Alexander have to work the scoreboard while they do co-commentary in the NRL, but we've all got to multitask.
Touching the button there a couple of times. Just one extra time, and then you have to go to 100 points before you get it back down. So It's hard work being a scoreboard operator.
And the people at the other end of the field might actually think Canada have won 100 to 36 if you were to do that. So probably best that you don't.
We'll leave it at 36 to 13 for now, but the actual score is 36-12. My apologies to everybody.
So winding down this game, just over a minute left. Canada gets that ball back. Jamie, who's impressed you for the USA team?
Look, without doubt, Junior Vaivai has been all class. He's got the ability to step off either foot, and he sort of shimmies and gets on the outside, as he's done 3 or 4 times, and I think that's been one of the major differences. So Junior Vaivai for me, as he did I think in both games last year, would be my man of the match. I'm not the person deciding on that, but yeah, it certainly shows some class out there.
Referee calls time as Danny Tupou for the Canadian team. Looks like he was taken high in a tackle.
Yeah, very close to full time there. I don't know if Junior Vaivai is being cautioned. It's on report. I don't know whether this goes to a committee in Geneva now or something like that. I'm not sure who the authorities are that will look at that, but hopefully not much will come of it.
Newland won't like that, because the next international that they'll be playing against will be against Fiji in the Rugby League World Cup, which is in Townsville on October 28. And as we hit the 40-minute mark in the second half, this game will be very close to ending. Solid hit from the US.
And that's how a coach wants a team to finish a game, isn't it? With determined defence like that, not just clock watching.
Berta Farima there, big hit. Bart Longchamp, USA not letting up. Well, there's no winger back there, and Christian Miller on the fly, and that bounce is unlucky, but Canada is able to take that ball, and they score in the corner. Shock score towards the end. The referee calls try. And Canada managing to score a few extra points towards the end of the game. With the game now at 36 points to 16. Sean Rutchinson, coach of the US, will be unhappy with this.
Yeah, no, that's fortunate, I guess, because if anyone wants to take a photo of the scoreboard at full time, it'll actually have the right score now with the conversion to come. As I said, it's going to be a good finish for the Canadian team, who've been plucky here this evening, and Jamie, plenty to build on next year.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to finish on a high for them. There have been moments in the game, if the ball could stick in their hands, where they've looked dangerous. Like I say, I think there was a little bit of inexperience there. Sometimes they should have held onto the ball when they decided to pass it, especially into traffic. But not a bad performance from a young Canada team, and they're going to build and become better and stronger, and I think they're really going to benefit from the experience of playing a high caliber team like USA.
And that's the conversion. Looks like a good kick, and it is successful. And the referee calls time, full time, and that is the USA winning the 2017 Colonial Cup.